welcome back. If this is your first time, my name is Casey, and my 5-month-old daughter Abigail's right over here in her little plaything. So you'll be hearing her, but she'll hopefully stay calm enough to stay out of sight for most of this video. But today, we are filming a video on hospital bag must-haves. When I went into labor with my daughter, I was not prepared. I didn't have my hospital bag ready because I didn't actually go into labor. I was sent for an emergency induction by my OBGYN at my 36-week appointment. So we were not ready. We thought we still had a month to go before anything was going to happen. As my poor husband was scrambling at the last minute trying to figure out what to pack. I was not in a place mentally to tell him what to grab. I was just like, underwear, I don't know. So I'm going to hopefully make it a little easier for everyone else and make a video on what you really do need in a hospital bag and what you really don't. I've seen a lot of videos where they bring a ton of stuff, suitcases filled with stuff. You really don't need it. I was in the hospital 4 days before I had my daughter and then 2 days after, so a total of 6 days, and I really didn't use stuff like I thought I was going to use because you sleep a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. We used what I'm using now is my diaper bag as my hospital bag. If you go back to last week's video, the what's in my diaper bag, you'll see it's a gray backpack style. It has a ton of room and it held a ton of stuff. So some things that you will need are going to be things like underwear, loose, comfortable clothes, a robe. I can't stress this enough, you need a robe because those hospital gowns are open-backed, and if you have visitors, they're gonna see everything. No matter how hard you try to cover yourself up, they're going to see your butt, unfortunately. So you'll need one of those. Your regular toiletries, just like little travel sizes, just your shampoo, your conditioner, an unscented body wash, because some of the fragrances in our body washes can be harmful and overwhelming to little ones' noses, and you may have a heightened sense of smell and it might be a little overwhelming for you also. An unscented lotion, but I don't recommend putting lotion on if you are in active labor, because if you're trying to hold your knees to push, you're going to slip, or you might slip around with your newborn, and you don't want either of those situations to happen. Your own pillow. Do not bring a white pillowcase because they will draw a giant X on your pillowcase no matter how nice and expensive that pillowcase was. We had I think it was like a 2,500, 3,000 thread count sheet pillowcase that we had on my pillow that my husband brought for me that I had to throw away because of the Sharpie they used for that X. I was very disappointed because I really liked how soft that pillowcase was. If you can, just go to Walmart and buy just a super cheap pillow and pillowcase that's brightly colored. That way you can just toss it when you're done because there's so many germs in the hospital. I don't recommend bringing your nice pillows, but you also want to be comfortable. I also recommend bringing a boppy, and if you don't know what a boppy is, they are these amazing little pillows. I have 2 different pillowcases and a waterproof liner. Your newborn can sit inside of this. You can use this to help you breastfeed. It has a little stages chart on there, so you know what month your baby can do certain things on. My daughter has used this from birth. She loves it. It used to be the only way she would fall asleep if she wasn't in her bassinet. You will also want to bring these pads to put inside of your bra because your boobs will start to leak even if it's just a little bit, and it gets cold fast and you'll have little wet spots on each breast. So these little nursing pads are great. I'll go ahead and open one up. I don't have to use them anymore, so I'm okay with opening it. So they just open up. You stick this side with the little tabs into your bra, and you peel them off, stick it on, and this side absorbs everything. They are crazy absorbent. But if you don't have one of these, or you don't want to buy any disposable ones, they do make reusable ones that are washable. They don't have the sticky tabs, they just rest in your bra. You could also, if you are somewhere and you don't have one and you're leaking through your old one, you can also cut a pad or a liner, panty liner, in half and stick it to the inside of your bra, and that will work for a little while until you absorb to where you cut, and then it'll start to leak. But it's good if you're like at the grocery store. Another thing that you'll want to bring is a blanket for the baby and a coming home outfit. And if you want your baby to wear anything while in the hospital, some like a little t-shirt or a little onesie for that also. The hospital will provide diapers. They will provide mesh panties for you. These amazing huge pads that make you feel like you're wearing a diaper, but they are crazy absorbent because you will bleed a little bit or a lot depending on, I mean, everyone's different. So those are great to have. If you can, take as many of those mesh panties and liners or pads as you can because they are amazing. You'll want to bring a blanket for you and for your significant other if they're going to be staying in there with you, or anyone who's going to be with you, a pillow and blanket for them. The hospital does have blankets, but sometimes just having your own makes everything better. But the hospitals are heated, so they are really nice. You'll want to also get some Tux healing pads, medicated healing cooling pads. They're these little tiny witch hazel soaked pads that you can put in your underwear, and they kind of cool everything. And after you give birth, you're very swollen and sore, and it feels really nice to have something down there that's doing all that. Sometimes hospitals give those to you and sometimes they don't. So just having them already with you will help if they don't provide them. A fan. I got incredibly hot while I was in the hospital. I was on magnesium for the 4 days before I had my daughter. So I had the room down to about 63, 64. I had it as low as it could go. Everybody was freezing when they came in and I was still burning up. So my nurse brought me a little fan, and that made a world of difference. And insurance actually covered the cost of the fan, which I thought was really great. Another thing that you will want to bring are some snacks for after you have the baby. You'll also want to bring some clear liquid snacks and drinks. That way you're not stuck on just the broth and Jello and popsicles that they provide at the hospital. As great as Jello, broth, and popsicles are, if that's all you're going to have for more than a day, it gets kind of old and can also kind of give you some stomach problems because it caused me to actually throw up. So I recommend getting your own, and I do not recommend getting anything red or purple because it will make anything that comes up or out look like blood, and that can be very unsettling while you're going through everything. You'll also want to get some snacks and stuff for your significant other, and if you have any family that's going to be staying with you while you're in the hospital, just so you don't have to go and find the snacks inside the hospital, which usually cost quite a bit more. And speaking of that, you'll also want to bring some extra cash, just so you don't have to dip into any of your regular funds while you're in the hospital, because hospital food can get expensive fast. I should have written out a list. Bringing your own water bottle can also be a good thing to have with you, because they will give you like ice chips and water inside of the hospital cups, but I couldn't hold the hospital cup that they gave me, and I kept dropping and spilling the little paper cups. So if I had had something with a handle or something smaller, that would have been a lot better, and something that is insulated that can keep the water cold would have been great also. When I said the like loose fitted clothing for when you come home from the hospital and to wear while you're in the hospital if they let you, I'm talking about like loose t-shirts, leggings that are a size or two above what you usually would wear. So like if you're a small, get a size medium or large. That way nothing's super tight and constricting, because you are going to be sore. You're going to be very sore. You're not going to want anything tight down there. Honestly, a dress or a nightgown would probably be more ideal. I went home from the hospital in a pair of very loose sweats, and it was really comfortable, but it still was a little tighter in that area than I would have liked. So I definitely recommend at least a knee-length dress. That way you don't have to worry about anything showing. And then I say to bring underwear, but if you like the way the mesh underwear feels, because it is so much looser and more comfortable, I would just wear that if you can. All the hospitals have different kinds of mesh underwear, so you definitely want to try it and see, but still bring your own underwear. And you're not going to really want to bring like the teeny tiny little underwears. You're going to want to get another, like a size up or 2 sizes up, and granny panties. Unfortunately, that's what you're going to probably be living in for the next few months, at the very least. So that's about all that you really do need in a hospital bag, because if you have a normal, uneventful, regular labor, you're only going to be in the hospital for 2 to 4 days, depending on if you have a boy or a girl, and depending on how long you labor for. You'll also want to bring something to do, like a coloring book, something easy, some cards, something you don't have to think too much about while you do, but to help pass time in between contractions. And if you're stuck like I wasn't allowed to watch TV or be on my phone because it could cause seizures. So I had nothing to do except sleep, and I was so bored. So I definitely recommend bringing something to do. But yeah, that's about all that you need. You don't really need a whole lot of stuff. Just a couple changes of clothes, a fan, and you're pretty much good to go. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it was informative and it helped you out. If you have any suggestions, or if you brought things that worked, or you brought things that I mentioned that didn't work for you, go ahead and drop them down in the comments. I'd love to see everybody's feedback on their experiences. Follow us on Instagram. I'll have a link in the description. And we will see you next time. Bye!